And so that then really plays into, the last couple of slides that we have here. The first one of which says essentially that the potential market for cloud providers like yourselves is growing. There's already quite a few people that, obviously use the big US and Asian headquartered cloud providers, but also in all of these other areas. And importantly, the bars on the left where people are saying, yes, we would consider using these in the future, are quite large for European local presence, people providing specialist services and people who are focused on a particular geography. Is this really coming out stronger and stronger over the time that OVH has existed?
Clearly, the positioning as an alternative, right? An alternative in all the different senses of that word, right? It's not only alternative to US companies. It's actually more than that. It's alternative in the way you provide services. Alternative to the price performance ratio that you have. It's alternative to some of the approach to the market. It's alternative in terms of proximity. So there are different aspects, and so clearly this is something that is coming up in conversation with customers, in conversation with public sectors, in conversation with large enterprises, in conversation with small and medium businesses. To be completely honest as well, I think there is also a need for people to have alternatives, even among the hyperscalers, right? I mean, it's perfectly all right that customers would consume Amazon and Microsoft at the same time, or Amazon and Google, because they find better service in certain areas in Google and better service in certain areas with Amazon. And eventually they would consider a third provider. So again, back to this multi-cloud, paradigm, I think this is something that is going to become more and more the natural way of consuming cloud services. Focusing on one and expecting that you're going to get everything from one provider is, seriously, I think it's a thing of the past. 10 years ago, it is not true anymore.
I don't even think it was true 10 years ago. It's never applied in any area of business. You always want to have multiple suppliers, if only to keep each of your suppliers honest. And so people recognize that there is no one size fits all. And I think that that's now the experience is here. And as we look at the last chart, 80% of organizations agree that yes, we have been on a learning curve, but they've now got that experience to know what to look for and who to go to. And that one size fits all doesn't apply.
It's actually interesting that this is directly linked to the maturity of the market, right? Mm-hmm. Clearly, we see ourselves, we've been expanding in certain markets. Some of them are more mature than others for cloud consumptions. And the kind of services that are being consumed by customers are different. The flexibility, right? The elasticity, the fact that customers come and go, consume more in a more digital way. There is a direct link with the maturity of the market, right? The maturity of the customers within that market. You always have people that have been developing applications in a cloud native way that would be by definition more agile and more able to navigate that environment. And there are companies that are more recent in the, developing hybrid solutions and moving things into the cloud more recently, still in the migration phase. Obviously will have, will be more prudent in the way they are adopting cloud services. One thing that is interesting as well is that, and this is something that OVHcloud have been believing for forever, really. We were the first one to develop the concept of hosted private cloud back 10 years ago, actually. This has been 10 years since we started offering a hosted private cloud service, which has all the characteristics of cloud in terms of pay-as-you-go, elastic consumptions, not having to deal with equipments, but consume services, but in a fully dedicated and private environment. So the customers can be 100% sure that his environment is actually not going to be shared or mutualized in any way with anybody, that he controls all the resources that are within his hosted private cloud. It has the exact same look and feel as if he was running his private cloud, except that this private cloud is actually running in somebody else's data center, somebody else's infrastructure. That way he has the benefit of cloud, still retain the full privacy and control and visibility. And this is interesting because we started doing that 10 years ago. We've actually had a very, very strong business around that. And we see now other players, including the big ones, moving into that space a little bit, kind of validating our strategy. So we're pretty pleased with that. The fact that this is a kind of a third way of consuming cloud services.
And it's something that
cloud is not the answer to everything, right? Because this is.
We've asked that question on many surveys that we've run over the years, and it's certainly an option that's maybe underappreciated as being out there. But it's very clear from the charts that experience is there now, and as always in any area of business, never mind in any area of IT, experience is valuable, and people are now being able to exploit that experience. So with that, I'll say thank you very much, Alain, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Tony. Likewise.